Hello everyone, welcome back to another Math Monday. Today I am going to be reviewing 30-second numbers, 50 key topics for understanding numbers and how we use them. Now, last week I reviewed The Mathematical Tourist by Ivers Peterson, and that book was definitely geared for people who felt comfortable in their high school mathematics course, or at least very personally interested in it. Maybe they wanted to explore topics that are in mathematics outside of the topics that are typically introduced in a high school curriculum, such as knot theory, topology, fractals, things along that nature. 30-second numbers is definitely in a different direction. This is the perfect book for people who decided math was not for them, probably around middle school. People who decided that as soon as they were introducing x's into equation, they were out. People who did not enjoy math, but maybe looking back wish they had a little firmer knowledge in some of the basics of math, but definitely don't want to get too far in there, don't want to be exposed to pages upon pages of proofs and formulas and concepts and topics. They need everything to be simplified, but they also don't want to be bored. And that's where I think this book comes in. This book was a very, very good read. So I gave this book a 4-star. I think it's a very flexible and accessible book. I can see someone as young as maybe 5th or 6th grade maybe being gifted this book. Someone, a 5th or 6th grader who has a very strong interest in math, as well as adults who maybe didn't enjoy math during their high school career, or people who didn't do well in math but wish they had a better concept of it. This is a very accessible book for anyone like that, anyone who's in those categories. So this book just takes different categories in mathematics and then subdivides them into even further categories, and then gives a 30-second explanation on each of them. So the chapters are divided. So the first section, as you can see, is fundamental numbers, and inside fundamental numbers, that's where like the basics start. So we have real numbers, rational numbers, irrational numbers, prime numbers, complex numbers, discrete numbers, continuous numbers, zero and negative numbers, powers and roots. And then between fundamental numbers, or after fundamental numbers, in terms of big topics, we also have statistical distributions, statistical tests, probability and risks, using numbers, and visualizing numbers. And that's why I think this is such a good book, because it covers such a wide range of topics that everybody needs to know, or everyone would benefit from knowing, without getting too deep, too complex, or expecting you to have a very high level of mathematical knowledge. When I say high level, I mean like, let's say you did not like math in high school, was not your topic, didn't do well, or if you did do well, you also hated your life while doing it. This is the perfect book for you. The title does not lie. They're quite literally just a 30-second read. And on the side, they have like a 3-second version, and they have a little slightly deeper dive, or maybe like a little summary, just like additional information in another little section here. We have related topics, so if you want to go further, a 3-second biography, so someone who's associated with the topic. So for confidence intervals, we have Jerzy Neyman. So he was the Polish mathematician and statistician who introduced the idea of confidence intervals. So they kind of link it, and they also have the author who did it. So each one of these is done by a different author. Well, some of them did the same, but each one is written by someone. They're not all written by the same individual. And at the end of each section, I should say at the beginning of each section, they also have a little glossary with all the key terms, which is very, very nice. I thought the glossaries did a very good job. And at the end of each section, we have a 1-page biography with the timeline, and then just 3 or 4 paragraphs that kind of explain the individual's life and his impact in mathematics and what he did. That's why I find this such a good book, because they're 30-second topics, and they don't go too deep, but they absolutely thoroughly cover the topic to the point, to the level that you need. And if you want to go further, you have enough information in that 30 seconds to know where you want to go further, whether it's reading the further topics, whether it's taking the name of the person in the 30-second biography, or something in the text and diving into it further. You have plenty of opportunity to do that. I also wanted to say that I too learned some stuff. So the first one was in zero and negative numbers. The 3-second biography was for Baskaga II. I will include a link to some biography about him online in case I'm saying the name wrong. And he was an Indian mathematician who wrote about calculus hundreds of years before it was developed in Europe, and analyzed negative numbers in his Crown of Treatises in 1150. So I thought that was very interesting. Never heard of him. And even I learned something from this book, someone who really enjoys mathematics. So I thought that was very, very well done. I wondered why this page was marked. It wasn't that page that was marked. Additionally, in one of the biographies, I learned that a mathematician accurately predicted the date of his death. Probably a complete accident, but I thought that was very, very interesting, and I didn't know he did that, so I wanted to share that. So again, as I mentioned at the very beginning, I gave this a 4-star rating, probably like a 4.5-star rating. It's very, very excellent. I think this book is the perfect book for a wide range of people. I can see it going as young as a 5th or 6th grader who has a strong interest in mathematics and would like to kind of get a wide overview of everything. It's accessible to someone at that level, at least in my opinion, and also maybe older high schoolers, adults, anyone who maybe doesn't have a strong interest in mathematics or going further, but definitely wants a good book on the background of mathematics. The sections are easy to understand. It's simple. I even learned stuff, and I love reading about math and have been doing it for years and years and years. So I think it's just a very all-around good book. And the authors, who are Niamh, Daéid, and Christian Cole. I'm definitely going to write those in the little description box below because I definitely butchered the names. These authors did a very, very good job pulling this book together. I really appreciate their work on this, and I highly recommend at least getting this out from the library, or maybe consider purchasing it for someone in your life who you think would enjoy it. If you've read this book or have any comments on it or know any books similar to this, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. Other than that, everyone, have a great Monday.